Today's episode of TNC Movie Nights is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way to monetize your podcast. They help by giving podcasters just like us a flat rate for ad space, so you always know what you're going to get when you have an ad presented by Podgo. You can apply today and be immediately connected to advertisers that will fit your audience. Just go to podgo.co, that's podgo.co, and when you go there, there's a little box that says, "How did you hear about Podgo?" Make sure you let them know the movie night sent you. Hello everybody and welcome to TNC Movie Nights. I was pausing for effect, I didn't forget. But it's actually a good segue because this week we're going to be talking about characters. Thank you, Brandon, thank you for getting that. We're going to be talking about people that we forget about. It's some actors and actresses who have just kind of disappeared for one reason or another. They were just kind of in everything and then in nothing. And then we either haven't heard from them since or things have really changed since then. We'll break it down. But before we do, how you been, Brandon?
I'm doing well. I definitely newfound addiction as some of you guys have seen on our different things we're posting. A lot of Pokemon stuff. I'm a little addicted.
You think?
I'll put it like this. There's these boxes. Just a little segue for Pokemon real quick. These little boxes right here called Elite Trainer boxes. 10 packs come in a box and then a promo card. I will say, promo card is really expensive. The one I got it's
not a sponsor.
Yeah, if only. It's really cool too. It's this one right here. It's like stained glass, like the three birds. Pretty cool. It sells for like $300, like perfect grade, but like $150. So I bought one of these boxes for $150. There's only 10 packs in it, so $15 a pack. Plus, I get the promo too. And the boxes shot up in price today from $150 to about $225. And I went to the game store I went to try to buy it, and I was super sad because they already sold them all out. But yeah.
What?
Yeah. There was like 6 more on the shelves. They sold them all out, and it sucks. It's a really cool set, but yeah, that's been my life lately. I'm really addicted to Pokemon cards.
God, it's so weird that they're just back now, because I remember I had so many, and then I literally filled a garbage bag and gave them to my mom's friend's kid. I did keep the one Charizard, so now I guess that they're worth stuff. I might try to sell it now, but this is like, maybe I'm just late or I'm out of the loop, which both of those are very true, but I had no idea. And then just recently, it seems like everyone's just exploding into all this stuff. It's almost as if they were super popular and then forgotten about, and now they're making a comeback. Huh. Yeah. If only we had something that we could relate with movie nights. Perhaps some beloved icons of our childhood that were maybe super big, and then we didn't do this on purpose. And then we forgot about them. So I don't even know. We have like 11 people to talk about. Do you have anyone that you want to start with specifically?
Yeah. I do have one person, just because this person is kind of, in a sense, fading away, maybe. They're not completely gone because they're still doing some TV stuff. They're doing some voice acting, but they definitely aren't what they used to be. And that's Michael Cera. And I love Michael Cera. It's that just super soft-spoken, really kind of nervous characters he plays, like, in everything, but it's always that gets the girl at the end of the movie, and I just love that whenever he played those characters. I do understand that those characters, he's playing those back in 2007 to 2013-ish, so it's been over a decade, so you really can't play these high school characters anymore. But I really do miss them.
Not with that mustache, man.
Yeah. I really do miss Michael Cera a lot. And like I said, he's doing some voice acting stuff like Lego Batman Movie 2 and Crypto Zoo. He's still doing stuff. It's not like he just completely fell off the face of the earth. He's just definitely has quieted down a lot from his 5-6 year jump of I have a movie coming out every 3 months.
For real. We were talking about this a little bit pre-show, but you said the 5 or 6 biggest movies that everyone knows him in, they all came out within 2 years of each other, right?
Yeah, but 2-3 years max.
God. And then we were joking. It was like he just got the paycheck. Thanks, guys. I'm just going to go home now and grow a weird mustache. All right, see you guys later. Although it was really, really funny to see him in This Is the End just playing like the exact opposite of all of his characters.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Just blowing a bathroom and just forgetting where everything is. God, that was so funny. But yeah, man, he was just kind of in everything. He was part of that group with like, I mean, he was in Superbad with him, but like Seth Rogen seemed to be in just like everything for a minute. And then he's still just kind of, maybe, I don't even know if slowed down is the right word, but the releases are a little less frequent, but he's still like very much in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And Michael Cera, while people are still watching those old movies, he just kind of hasn't been in much. So yeah, like you said, other than a couple of voice acting things and a couple bit parts, just kind of quieted down. This is one of those weird ones that I don't really know why, because some of these other actors we know like the stories now, and I don't know why. He might have just decided that he was done. Something might have happened. I don't know. Did something happen to Michael Cera? Did something happen to Michael Cera?
I really hope not, because like again, it's super fun, and it's just one of those actors that maybe he was like, you know what, I was in a lot of stuff. I did everything for 3-4 years of my life, and like he just because now like he can literally just sit at home and be like, all right guys, you need me to voice act and I'll still make $1 million a year. Cool, I'm gonna do it from the comfort of my home and not have to like do anything outside of just doing a little bit.
What weird things to voice too. Like the two most popular things he's voiced are like a hot dog and a Lego guy.
Yeah,
like that's it. He was just like nerdy high schooler for 6 years, and then he just was a hot dog, and now he just sits at home. But you know what? Talk about living the dream, dude. I wish I could just work for like 5 years and then just kind of voice a hot dog once in a while and then just sit in my friggin' $1 million mansion. So more power to him, man.
Yeah, totally fair.
Someone I definitely want to talk about though, before I jump to him, do you have anything you have to say about Michael Cera before we forget about him again?
No, I'm good.
The very first person I thought of, and I don't know why, because there are like definitely bigger names on here that I associate with this more, but Jonathan Lipnicki was the first guy that came to mind here, because he was just this little kid in everything. He was everywhere. He was in everything. He was just, if you needed a little kid, it was like him and the kid from Liar Liar. That was it. You just had those two. We didn't even have him on the list. We forgot about him. That's the beautiful thing about this episode. And I mentioned this again pre-show. But if we forgot about someone, like, apologies that we forgot about you, but that's kind of the point, is that, if anything, the guys that we forgot belong on this list even more. But, honestly. I mean, Jonathan Lipnicki, man, he was in both Stuart Littles. I loved Like Mike, so I watched him in that all the time.
Oh my god, yes! That's one of my favorite movies with him.
Yeah, dude! Like Mike, he was the kid Jerry Maguire, Little Vampire, and then, I didn't know this, but just on our little research for the show, apparently he's just kind of getting into horror now, because like his 6 biggest movies according to the internet, starting with Jerry Maguire, ending with when Zachary Beaver came to town, they all happened in like 6.5 years, and then 14 years later he made Circus Kane, which just looks like a horror movie with a clown. It looks like an It ripoff. And then there's like Broil in 2020, and it's a knife in a yard in front of a haunted house. Like, dude took a turn. Something happened. Maybe it was in Like Mike. Maybe he got electrocuted too, and it wasn't just the shoes. But something happened, man. Freddy was in Dr. Dolittle. God.
Oh, yeah. He was in, like, I think for me, Like Mike and Little Vampire probably my two favorites. Like, Stuart Little's great as well. But yeah, wow,
Little,
Jerry
man.
Maguire. God.
Yeah, and then just like freaking Kaiser Soze, man, just gone. It was. I don't know what. That's another guy. I don't know the story. I mean, I could probably do more research, but that's not the kind of show we do. We just kind of wing it.
Kind of wing it, have fun. And,
Speaking of winging it, down for the count.
You're good. And it is crazy because so many of these people, and I'll do my best to, kind of segue it for someone here, but you see all these, like, kid actors just, I'm going to be every single child until I am, like, 13 years old, and then just gone. Never even heard of again, or they're doing small things, their own things, like, their own little projects, which with the money that they made in their younger years, they can really do whatever they want and give it a shot, which is really cool. But,
but man, I remember being 6. If you gave me that amount of money being 6, I'd be doing this. I'd be right here doing the same thing because all of that money would be gone. If it happened now, different story. But yeah, it'd be just like Pokemon cards and a whole bunch of stupid stuff. And I know things are different. You have like agents and parents and all that stuff, but they're just idiots too. Parents are nothing but adults in general. When you're a kid, you look up and you're like, that's an adult. They know everything. And then you become one and you're like, that's just a bigger idiot. No one knows what the hell is going on. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense that we haven't, I don't know. Weird stuff happens, man. But yeah, all these kids. We got a couple more on the list. I don't know. Which one do you want to do next? Because we got a couple that fit that description.
I was going to say Michaela Culkin. Just because, I mean, to me, he was only, I know he's done other things, but he was Home Alone. And then nothing. And that was the thing that blew me away, because personally, I mean, I really, really loved him in Home Alone. I think that's one of the movies I don't think you care for as much. But
I don't hate it.
No, yeah.
But I don't love it.
A lot of people are like, best Christmas movie ever, and I'm definitely kind of in that area. Like, it's fantastic. Mm-hmm. But you at least see other actors like Lipnicki, and it's like, okay, he's going to be in every kid movie for like 5-10 years if and then he'll fade away.
Yeah. Macaulay Culkin didn't even do all the Home Alones.
Yeah, he did the first 3, I think, and then like was it 3? It might have been 2. I think it was just 2. The third one, I think, was different. Yeah.
What?
I'm almost. It was. Oh my God! Wait! I need to see this real quick. The third one. Oh, okay. Wait. I got really excited for a second. I thought the kid that did it was actually the one we brought up earlier. For Oh my goodness! I can't think of the name of the kid now that you brought up. The kid.
Jonathan Lipnicki?
No. The one that like took over for Lipnicki. It was either Lipnicki or the other kid that was like in Liar Liar.
The Liar kid.
It's not him. It's not him. Funny enough, the kid who took over the role.
He was in other things though.
If I'm
he
kind of
fits the role.
Do you ever remember the movie Max Keeble's Big Move?
Yes, I do.
It looks like he was the kid in Home Alone. I'm not guaranteed yet, but when I look up the cast for this movie, it shows that movie right next to it and says like the kid from Home Alone 3.
Oh my God!
I love Max Keeble's Big Move. It's such a great movie.
Oh my God! It totally is. If you look at the IMDb page, it's like you see like the Home Alone hair, and then you see the spike, and you're like, "Oh my God, that's totally him."
Yep.
Oh my God! And apparently he was also the voice of young Tarzan in the animated Tarzan. What happened to this kid, man?
This is a lot of people. Dude, Max Keeble's Big Move is fantastic.
Oh, he was in Titan AE. God, I remember that movie. That was so cool. It was so dumb. Oh my God.
God, yeah, that's definitely another one to add to the list because, like, just where did he go?
Wait a minute. Dude, yeah. Max Keeble's Big Move. Oh my God. Okay. That kid, Max Keeble, like that character.
Yeah.
that's another thing where it was like, it might have been sort of an oversaturation thing, and that's why we're not seeing these people anymore. Because like Michael Cera played that like nerdy, just kind of outcast, but then he ends up getting the girl, and you're like, ah, and then it happened like 400 times in like 6 years, and people got kind of tired of it. And then Max Keeble, like his sort of thing, it's the spiky-haired short kid, him, and then you had like Ned's Declassified, and you just had like the kid who starts the food fight. Like that's the best way I could describe it, is the kid that starts the food fight. And there was like a whole bunch of that, and then you got a little bit older, and you're like, oh god, no, that kid's just really freaking annoying. And then they just stopped making movies with him anymore. Not the kid, but like that sort of like character type. Oh my god. Oh god, this is insane. This show is just off the rails now.
I know. I'm looking at Devin Worcestershire, who he's from Ned's Declassified now. So I'm in this whole other area of the world right now.
Oh my god! And see, I went on to the next. I went on like the different path, like the Macaulay Culkin path of just like he got really weird and like kind of did a lot of drugs and then kind of disappeared. And then that made me think of Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And then I was like, he did some sort of not cool stuff. I don't remember exactly what, but it was like, ooh, he had like a rough fall. That's the sort of like, didn't kind of vanish. You landed. You hit the bottom. And at least with Macaulay Culkin now, he's like, he seems better. Like he's smiling. Yeah, and he's just like, hey.
Isn't Macaulay Culkin dating, what is her name from, oh my goodness, Zack and Cody?
What?
Yeah.
Isn't it like Brenda Song or something?
Brenda Song.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh god.
I love that. I love that so much. I've seen so many photos of like what happens when you date Brenda Song, and it's like his just glow up of going from like kind of like fell down the rabbit hole. Like
he was a crackhead.
Yeah, and now he just like, you look at him now, like he just looks like such a great, just normal guy. It's funny.
He went from crackhead to like fun uncle, and it's like the type where it's like, we don't ask him stories about what used to happen, but totally fun to be around now.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Oh my god.
I love that.
It's like all this stuff. It's like our childhood just got like sucked into like a black hole, and just like now just getting shot out. It's just like everything's everywhere. It's a supernova. Happens in reverse. I know. But
I want to throw one more name out there before we get back into it. But Anakin Skywalker, Jake Lloyd, he's like in prison now or something. Like I see just mug shots of him with everything I see. Yeah. Jeez.
Oh. Is that a face tattoo or a scar?
I thought it was a face tattoo as well when I saw it.
Jesus. Okay. You know what, though? That's a perfect transition, because, I mean, we're obviously going to talk about Anakin Skywalker next, but God, between the two of them, young Anakin did not glow up well.
No.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So it says related to Jake Lloyd and Macaulay Culkin, and it's basically just our list of people that we made, plus like Lindsay Lohan. That's it. It's just a list of forgotten actors and actresses. Oh man.
Yeah. Like
okay.
To jump in a. Go ahead.
No. I was literally about to kick it to you for this, because you definitely have to talk about this one.
Yeah. So like to jump into Hayden Christensen, it's one of those weird spots. Kind of what. I feel like Robert Pattinson kind of dealt with for a little while. Like, hey, I'm going to be in this extremely successful franchise, but everyone is only going to see me as that character for the next 10 years. Because, yeah, he was in all the Star Wars movies. He finished them in 2005. Then he had this little bitty, like, in movies for, like, 2007 to 2008. But then he had a dry spell almost until 2014. And now he's kind of getting back into movies and like TV and stuff like that. It looks like just movies, actually. So like we'll definitely kind of see what happens. I'll be honest, I really do like him as an actor. I think he's a good actor. Maybe for what they wanted him to do, some people don't love in Star Wars. So,
yeah, I have no beef with him personally. Like, as an actor, cool. He seems, I know so little about the guy, but all I've seen, he seems like such just like a cool dude.
yeah.
So I wish him well. I hope he does some fun stuff. But yeah, I think we're finally getting to the point where there's enough other Star Wars stuff to be mad at that people are kind of like just forgiving the people from the sequels, especially the people who aren't at fault, like the actors. I mean, be mad at like George Lucas all you want, rightfully so, but you can't. It made Natalie Portman look like a failed high school drama dropout, and she's like won an Oscar.
Yeah.
And they had her reduced to nothing. And so you're like, all right, maybe it wasn't his fault that he sucked.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I'm really excited to kind of see what they do with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, because he is coming back as Darth Vader in it. So I would really kind of love to see if that can maybe spark his career again. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's been in a couple things over the last few years, but this might be like the resurgence for him. Like, he might blow up and do great in this role. Kind of like, I mean, I know he was still in stuff before, but like, what's his name? Pedro Pascal?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, he's now like in Wonder Woman. Like, because people saw how fantastic he is in Mandalorian.
To be fair to him, though, I think a lot of that also came from Game of Thrones.
Oh, very fair. Yes.
Because he was very... I don't know how to say this without sounding disrespectful to him, but he was like very unknown and like in some bit stuff. And maybe he was in your favorite thing. I don't want to like bash him or anything like that. But then Game of Thrones hit, and then after Game of Thrones ended, he's just the Mandalorian. And then like you said, now he's just like in Wonder Woman, and he's the type of guy where as soon as he lands a role, it's announced.
Yeah,
where it's like he's playing this guy now. And when you're on that level where when you land a role, people have to announce it, that's like you did it, you made it. People are psyched to see you in the thing more than they are to see the thing, or they think like that's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, and and that's what I'm really hoping to see Hayden Christensen kind of get that spark back, because I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think I've seen any other movies with him outside of Star Wars, but I've heard like he's a really good actor. Like, didn't he get I want to say he's been nominated a couple times for like other roles for Oscars in a movie he was in, I want to say in 2017 maybe. It might have been First Kill. There was a movie I saw that like he was actually, the movie was set up for Oscars and stuff. It was one of those like smaller movies, and I mean, still like he's got gas. He's got gas left in him to make to do some great roles, and I'm really excited to see.
Yeah, definitely, man. This is so weird. I'm staring at this list and I'm getting flashbacks from these movies. All right, I think. This is totally out of left field, but I'm staring at a name on here that we have to talk about, and that's Mike Myers. Because, man, I remember being in college, and in my computer, attached to the TV in my dorm room, I, for probably 2 months, cycled through all 3 Austin Powers movies, because I don't know if you're anything like me, but sometimes the act of picking a movie takes longer than watching a movie. And the Austin Powers movies were something where it was like, it's on the desk, and I never got tired of it. And so I was just like, screw it, throw it in. And I would just cycle through all 3 of them for literally months. And it's, I mean, let's be honest here. This is not one of those where we don't know what happened. Dude made The Love Guru, and then no one wanted to see him in anything other than in disguises, in like a bit part in Inglourious Bastards, a bit part in Bohemian Rhapsody, a couple of other things, but I think everyone was just like, dude, what was that? And then but
go ahead.
Austin Powers 4 is rumored, so there's a chance. That's the last I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, he's one of those actors that, like, a lot of these actors that we talk about here were kind of in everything for like a 5 to 10 year period, and then they just had one bad movie, and it was just, you're never going to be in a movie again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy because, there's plenty of actors out there that we see. I mean, Ben Affleck has kind of still stayed he's in movies pretty consistently over time. But then, your Seth Rogens, your Ryan Reynolds, your all those, A-listers, they just never have that dipping point, I guess. And it's crazy, yeah, because like you saw him in Wayne's World 2, all the Austin Power movies, So I Married an Axe Murderer. There was just that well, let me check here, 1992 to 1995, and it's just constant perfect movies over and over for a lot of people. And it was just that small little gap of like a 5-ish year window, and then kind of nothing.
Mm-hmm. And it's really interesting to see because, I mean, a lot of actors that we know and love have made just pieces of garbage. I mean, Ryan Reynolds jokes all the time about the Green Lantern. And, like, Seth Rogen almost didn't even get to make the interview. That's how much, uproar there was about it. And then it had to be released, directly to Netflix.
Yep.
And whether you like it or whether you don't, that movie didn't go well for them. And and then they just went, huh, that sucks, and then they kept making stuff. But then sometimes you make something like The Love Guru, and it just crosses that line, and then you go, huh, that sucked, and then there's nothing but crickets, and everyone left the room because everyone's like, bro, you made The Love Guru. We're not, no thank you. But yeah, and it's also weird because, obviously he came from SNL, and that sort of era created so many just stars. I mean, we've talked about, even just to name a couple, like Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler and David Spade and Chris Rock, that whole group. They're huge. And although I guess David Spade probably could be on this list now that I think about it. But
he's still in some decent stuff.
Yeah, he's in things.
Yeah, he's in stuff.
It was this huge group, and they're still almost all famous. And Mike Myers is still famous, but not on the Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler level. And there was a real period of time there where he just totally was. He was just as, if not more famous than both of those guys. And now they can just make anything and everything, and people love them, except you and Elf, apparently. And us and Jack and Jill. And that's another thing. Adam Sandler made Jack and Jill, and everyone was like, "Hi, man, what's your next one?"
I think he kind of had a little hiatus, though. I think he had a little after Jack and Jill.
True.
I want to check.
That's true. We did talk about that. I remember when we were talking about, I think, Sandlerverse. And I wonder if it's by choice. I wonder if Mike Myers was just tired of it all and was like, you know what? I'll just be a guy in a couple things. I feel like he just decided to take on the role of being that guy you see in the movie and you go Mike Myers? Was that him? And then he was just like, yeah, I'm just going to be this guy. I'm going to be that guy. He's still rich as shit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, man. And Austin Powers movies, they're so bad, but they're so funny, and they're so just... Yeah, I don't know. Sahara hates him. But I love him. Oh, man. He's just one of those guys. We have a couple guys like that on here, too. Yeah, you know what? Actually, speaking of guys who were just on top, making everything, especially in the world of comedy, I mean, I'll let you take it because he's your guy here. But man, he fits this build too.
I'm gonna assume you're talking Dane Cook.
No, but I mean, yes.
Oh, okay.
But I was talking about Sean William Scott.
Okay, well, because for me, as soon as you said he was in the whole world of comedy, I even his stand-up,
yeah,
he was doing stand-up, he was in all the movies, he was in TV stuff, and then just poof, gone. And it was weird because he was kind of in that area of almost Ryan Reynolds to start.
Yeah.
Like, they were kind of in those.
I mean, they were in movies together too.
Yeah, I think Waiting, and I'm sure there's some other ones in there too, and it's just kind of weird because like they both like had a steady kind of grow, and then Dane Cook. It's weird because I think Dane Cook even got some like bigger roles earlier, like with Employee of the Month. There's the other one like Good Luck.
I know
Chuck.
which one you're talking about.
Yeah, Good Luck Chuck is another one there, and then he just kind of tanked. But then Ryan Reynolds just completely took off and kept soaring, and it was just kind of weird seeing the difference between the two. So, yeah, it was just crazy.
And Dane Cook was weird because like he was everywhere. People loved him or they hated him, but he was legitimately near or at the top of comedy for a while. Maybe not in the acting world, but definitely in the stand-up world. And then that led into acting roles, and he was just the guy. Like, he sold out arenas, and people were, I mean, YouTube at the time, every video was like a clip animating one of his bits.
Yep.
And then there was rumors that he stole material, and I think even like Louis C.K. came out and was like, he stole my bit, something like that. And let's be honest, Louis C.K. is not really the beacon of truth that you want to look to. But there was like, he kind of hit a real rough patch with the possibly stealing jokes, and then I think like his brother or brother-in-law like was part manager or something, and then like took all of his money. Something bad happened. I don't remember, but while Ryan Reynolds was starting to soar, he was just kind of like, oh crap, bad decisions. And I guess it turns out that if you base your whole career off of being a douchebag, people kind of get tired of you after a while.
Yeah, and I mean, I just kind of looked up Dane Cook a little bit more, and I saw it a couple of years ago too. It was in 2019. But apparently there's talks that he's going to try to make a return and get back into stand-up. So, I mean, he did do, apparently, again, a really good movie back in 2019 that I really do want to watch, American Exit. That was the one that Alex previously on one of our shows guessed the Rotten Tomatoes score for it.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, it was 94%. So,
yeah. I forgot. What do you want me to, an article or a review of something?
A review of any movie you want me to. That's... like that I haven't seen or whatever you decide for it. But
we're gonna have to have fun with that one.
You should. But it's crazy seeing someone like that who, because some of these other people we're gonna talk about, they were just in movies. That's all they did, or they're just in TV. He was just a comedy like almost icon for a little bit. Either you loved him or hated him. So it's just it was so weird. It honestly was.
Yeah, man. But, like I said, with the guy I was originally thinking of, and then it actually segues perfectly, because talk about making a career out of being a douchebag. Playing a douchebag. I'm not trying to say that these people are, because I don't know them. But the characters, definitely. And, again, I'll let you take this one, because he's your guy way more than I got into him, because I was never super into that whole series that he was in.
No, it's totally fair. And it kind of goes to say with Sean William Scott, I think the issue that he was kind of that like early 20s, late 20s, just like douchebag role and everything for like all the American Pie movies. He's like in, I think, movie 43. He was in Role Models, and he just played that drunken douchebag.
So funny,
I love Role Models so much. And yeah, he just kind of kept playing that, like, cocky, funny douchebag, and then he kind of just got too old to keep doing that, and then he was just gone. And, oh my god, yeah, Dude, Where's My Car? He was in all of those, like, just funny...
Was he in a movie with The Rock?
What's up?
What? Oh, no, he was in a movie with The Rock?
Which one?
That's weird. The Rundown, 2003. Again, just playing that exact same role. He always played that same guy. I never super got into the American Pie franchise. I don't even think I've seen like any of them all the way through, and most of them none of. But God, role models him and Paul Rudd. God, that was funny.
Yeah,
but I think you're totally right. You can't keep playing that same guy.
Yeah,
God, Mr. Woodcock. I just scrolled down a little bit. Mr. Woodcock and Cop Out. Those movies sucked so bad. But there were a couple lines. Oh my God. A couple lines though. Oh man. Those movies, they make like 10 of them every year. They're horrendous pieces of garbage. But there's one moment that makes you like spit your water out because you're laughing so hard. God, and he might have been part of that in Cop Out. I forgot the movie even existed.
Yeah, that's a lot of these movies with them, like outside of American Pie, you're like, oh my God, that's right, he was in that. Oh, he was in that too. And it's that kind of consistent, like just going through the roles in those. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, he apparently has a movie in TV series in pre-production this country.
Huh.
So I mean, he's gonna be doing something. He was in Already Gone in 2019, but I don't even remember really hearing about that movie. So yeah, I mean, we'll kind of see, you know, if he does kind of make any sort of return. But yeah, I feel like it just kind of like the age hit him, and he just couldn't keep playing those like the roles he was just like born to play. I mean, he was funny in them. He was like, they were crappy movies, but I enjoyed when he was in those movies.
Yeah, man, he might just be a victim of typecasting. Speaking of though. Another guy on this list who might have been a victim of typecasting is, and a little bit older, but we have Rick Moranis on our list here.
Yeah.
Man, he's another... What is with all of these folks here and just being everywhere? And then they got typecast, and then people were like, oh yeah, you already did that. They've already made that. We've already seen you. See you later. And then just 20 years later, they have to try to revive their career. But God, he was just in everything.
Yeah, he literally, like, just like all those child actors we talked about, how they're like, you're going to play every single child ever for the next 5 years. He was the dad in everything. He was like the perfect dad character. And then he was in Spaceballs too, which was just so weird seeing him in that. But Spaceballs, it has some great moments. But yeah, he just played the family dad for, I don't know, 8 years.
What do you think is your favorite Rick Moranis role? Like, if you had to pick one movie of his, what do you think you would pick?
Any movie?
Yeah, for him, like his role, not just the movie, not his best, but which is your favorite to watch him in? Or I guess his best, yeah.
Little Giants.
Rick Moranis role. Oh my
Danny
God.
O'Shea. That's a great movie. That's one of my favorite sport movies for sure.
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Adam Neal's in it. They just carry that movie so well.
I'm a sucker for Ghostbusters, man. His little shtick that he does when he's running the park.
Yeah, like
not even that.
Oh, okay.
Not even like that's good, but that's just him, committing to a bit, which I super appreciate. But when he's like having his little house party and he's just walking through introducing everyone to everyone else and talking about it, and then later on I learned that was all improv. Like that wasn't he wasn't supposed to do that. He just did a deep dive on everyone's life and just did not miss a beat. I respect that so much. Like, I almost watched that. I laugh at it because it's hilarious, but I'm also just like kind of slack-jawed in awe of this guy just power riffing for like a full 3 minutes, and then he's just like, oh my God, this might be the funniest thing in this whole movie, and it's just totally just kind of something that they push aside. But I'm a sucker for that part. I'm a sucker for anything that's like a very talented riff that is also committing to a bit. Anytime someone can do that, just improv and roll with it, and it's hilarious, or someone who just refuses to leave this little bit that they're doing, not too much, but that exact amount where you're just over the line, but then you bring it back. Like, you don't kill it. I love that. So that, to me, is just like, wow, perfect Rick Moranis. Plus, it's Ghostbusters. What's not to love?
Yeah, no, yeah, totally fair. Someone I want to bring up here because it's one of the only people I feel like we have that was, I want to say more of a TV star that kind of just fell apart. And that's, I need to say fell apart for this one. But God, I loved Amanda Bynes growing up. I thought she was the funniest person just on television. I would not miss a single Amanda show ever because she was the funniest person I've ever seen in my life. She was all that she was in, and then she kind of like got that next step of getting to do some. I want to say she did some movies. I'm almost positive. I think. I want to go ahead and check. She's the Man.
Oh yeah, she did like She's the Man. Yeah.
Yeah, funny movie. I think it's a good fun movie. And then her last role was in 2010 for Easy A, and that is her last.
She was in Easy A?
Yeah, I think she was one of like the mean girls growing up, but I'm not too sure to be honest. But yeah, she just kind of fell off the face of the earth after that.
Yeah, I literally only remember from She's the Man, the Amanda Show, and all that. But dude, speaking of like the Amanda Show and all that, and we mentioned SNL earlier, but those shows are what like introduced our entire generation to that like sort of sketch comedy sort of stuff.
Yep.
Where it was like, you know, when you got older, maybe you watched Mad TV, and your parents at the time, and you probably now maybe watched SNL. But when you were like 10, 11, 12, and you didn't really get the SNL jokes, and Mad TV was something that was like a little too much for you, it was All That in the Amanda Show, and that was like specifically aimed at our group there, and you know, a little bit older too, but that was like the introduction to it. And I wonder now, because I have a whole bunch of friends who are super into SNL, even now, like just throughout, and a lot of the times it's because the Amanda Show and all that, like that you just fall in love with that format, and then you just keep watching it. But it turns out, again, maybe being a crackhead isn't the greatest career move for anyone.
Yeah, you definitely see people just run down that hole. I will say I'm kind of looking into her a little bit more, and she's like the last post, like back on track with life, all that kind of stuff. It is crazy though. She's got a face tattoo now.
What?
Something.
No.
Yeah, she's got a face tattoo. She has 2 face tattoos now, actually. So yeah, that's new for Amanda Bynes. But yeah, I honestly, growing up, I loved Amanda Bynes. She was awesome, and like everything I ever watched her in. It does suck to see actors, you know, go down that hole, but like, you give it. You found the face tattoo, yeah.
I saw the face tattoo.
Yeah, you know, you get that much money at the age of 16, and like you just kind of make the wrong choices and go with the wrong people, and your life just kind of spins out of control. But you know, I'm glad to see that she's at least making some sort of pace back, which is awesome. But geez, man,
totally.
I miss everything about those shows. They're fantastic. But we do have one last actor. Go ahead.
Hold on, before we break into, and there's one guy that we didn't mention before we break into the last one. But I think you really hit the nail on the head there, where it's like, it turns out if you just give a 16-year-old all of the money they could ever dream of, and just tell them to just go nuts, they do, because duh. I'm an idiot, and I'm 25, and I look back at me at 16, and I was like, you're an even bigger idiot. And so, like, just as you look back more and more in age, you're like, oh my god, I was trusted with anything? And then you just have all of the money to do all of the things you could ever want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad to see she does not look like Amanda Bynes anymore.
No, she's a completely different person. But yeah, no, definitely good to see her. She's doing well. It shows like she's got engaged, what I just saw. That's cool. That's pretty awesome.
So the other guy, though, before we bust into the last person, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning, like the kid who was always just the kid. You needed a kid, let's get a kid. And that was Haley Joel Osment. And he was, like, kind of in that same group. And he was good, man, even as he got a little bit older. Like,
oh, yeah.
Obviously, when you say Haley Joel Osment, most people, including myself, think The Sixth Sense, right? Because he's in that. He was fabulous. Such a talented actor, too, even at a young age. But then even as he got a little bit older, like Secondhand Lions, I love Secondhand Lions. It's so good. It's really dumb, but it's so happy, and it's like everyone's good. It's really fun.
Well, I know why he's not doing stuff anymore. It just finally clicked. He doesn't have to do anything ever again.
Oh, did you look up his net worth or something?
Well, I found out that he's been doing something for the past, like, few years pretty consistently. Have you ever heard of the game Kingdom Hearts? I would assume so.
Yeah.
He's Sora, the main character.
Whoa! Wait, what?
Yeah.
Damn!
He's Sora. So, I mean, like, that's his gig now. I mean, like, I will say it. Out of all these other actors that we've looked at, it's like this stint of their, like, really popular movies. And then from, like, 2005 to now, it's like this.
Yeah.
His is, like, his movies, and then this, like, huge list of stuff he's still doing. It's just voice acting, TV shorts, TV miniseries, TV series. Like, he's doing a lot of stuff, a lot of voice acting. But he's at least, like, he's... Just in 2020, he had 5, 6, 7, 8 roles that he did in just 2020. So... Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And you know what? He kind of gives me, in a totally, like, only this one very specific area, he kind of gives me the same sort of, like, Macaulay Culkin vibes. Not in that he did a whole bunch of drugs and now he's better, but he just looks like such a happy adult who has, like, distanced himself from his childhood. Not because he needed to, like, but he's like, yeah, I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I was in these movies. Now I'm an adult. I got a beard. I'm a voice actor. And you're like, man, you know what? Good for you. You look happy. You look like you like what you do. Yeah. And Macaulay Culkin had that sort of like, I was in Home Alone, and then I did a bunch of drugs. But now I'm just like a happy adult who's starting to do things again. And you're like, hell yeah, man. Good for you. And yeah, I've seen... There was a weird TV show that he was on for a while, too, and I don't even remember what it was. Maybe he was just in one that I saw, and I was like, what? I don't remember. But yeah, he's another guy that you're just like, huh. Good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah, I can definitely agree. I personally am very excited to talk about this last actor because he kind of was the epitome of in everything for a while, and then he was just kind of gone. And that's Brendan Fraser. Guilty pleasure, because a lot of his movies people give crap, but guilty pleasure growing up, loved Brendan Fraser. He was in Looney Tunes Back in Action, which was really fun.
Amazing.
Great
I'm
movie.
so glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brandon.
Monkey Bone.
Oh my God.
I loved that movie growing up. I watched that movie on repeat. The Mummy, of course, is great. We have more stuff to talk about. George of the Jungle. He was George. I gotta find the other one. It was like my favorite one. Dudley Do-Right.
Oh my
Do-Right
God.
So much. And he's just...
His Journey to the Center of the Earth wasn't awful.
Yeah, like, he's in all these just great movies. And I don't want to go into it really myself because I don't really know all the backstory to it. I've just heard little things about it that, like, there was just this kind of thing that happened that he was almost, like, blacklisted for stuff that...
Basically...
Yeah, if you want to try to...
Basically, he got sexually assaulted and was basically told that if you... I mean, he tried to do something about it, and then turns out when you get assaulted by someone in power, then you're still in power. And so he just didn't get to make movies again. And then he like had a real bad struggle with depression because of it. It was really, really rough, and it really, really sucks. But yeah, he just he had some really, really, really awful shit happen to him.
Yeah.
But that really sucks.
And it was really cool to see him come back, which, because of DC's had a lot of struggles, I didn't really care about the DC TV shows as much as I did about the Marvel TV shows. And I finally decided to give one a shot, and that was Doom Patrol. And he's pretty much the main character in it, I would say. He plays a just badass robot, and he knocked it out of the park. And since then, there's more, like, he's in 3 movies in post-production and being announced movies that, like, he's actually getting roles again. And I'm so excited to see that, because, God, he is such a good actor. And, like, some of the stuff he was in was really cheesy, and, like, he was kind of that, like, heartthrob in, like, the 90s for a bit, like, I think early 90s.
Dude! He was ripped in George of the Jungle.
Oh, yeah. He was just massive. I mean, he was Hugh Jackman before Hugh Jackman. And
yeah, it was like, oh, that's Brendan Fraser. That's him. Yeah. He's A-list.
Yeah. And then we just kind of saw him fall from the graces, and it just sucked, because it's not like his fault. And no. I'm glad that, Hollywood and everything is giving him the another chance and everything. I'm so excited to see what he does. And kind of to segue into it a little bit, but our show we're recording tomorrow, which will be Tuesday, you'll see on Saturday, is we're gonna go watch The Mummy. We're gonna go back.
Yes.
It's good to see Brendan Fraser be just perfect in a movie. So I'm really excited to watch. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be having my buddy Anthony. Oh goodness, coming on the show that I met back in college, my first couple of years. So yeah, I'm super excited to
I might watch George of the Jungle and Looney Tunes back in action just to get the full vibe. Oh, I'm so excited to watch The Mummy. And it's so funny because I bought it like not even that long ago, because we were just kind of scrolling through. And then Zahara was like, The Mummy, we have to buy it. And I was like, yeah. So we just bought it, and now we have The Mummy. And so it's like, I mean, how can you not? It's such a classic. And again, keeping true to 2021 being the year of good movies. Oh, I love it. I love it. We're going to have a month where we just watch awful, awful stuff again to make up for it. But right now, I am loving watching these good movies. I mean, God, I don't even know. Was it like, well, yeah, okay. It's kind of cheesy, so I get why, like, Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 61. Metacritic 48. It's a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. I get it. It's a cheese fest. But man, is it just fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'm so...
He's just... He's just so... He's just so fun to see on the screen, honestly. It's such an enjoyable actor, and I'm so excited to watch tomorrow. It's probably been a good 10 years since I've seen The Mummy. So yeah, I'm stoked. It's going to be a good time.
Hell yeah, man. Oh, I can't think of it away. I'm ready for the next episode, man. Tell the people where they can find this so we can watch The Mummy.
Yeah, so to go ahead and find us real simple, thenerdchambers.com. Check us out. We have all our social media pages on there. If you want to find our other shows, we have a video game show, we have an esports show, we have Magic the Gathering show, a bunch of different things we do have. And, if you want to also check out our YouTube stuff, we got Pokemon openings, a bunch of different things on there, and we also have our merch shop. If you want to support us, we've got our Movie Nights merch, got the Nerd Chambers merch over there as well. We do appreciate a lot. It helps us out, at least pay for keeping the show running. So again, don't have to support, but watching the video means a lot to us. So thank you so much for being here and hanging out. If you have any recommendations for movies you'd like for us to see, or even topics to cover, just let us know in the comments, tweet at us, whatever you want to do. Our buddy Mike gave us a big fat list of stuff to do for upcoming shows, and so excited to try some of those. The ideas he had are just phenomenal.
So great.
And
so great.
You'll of course see Mike very soon on the show again. But yeah, thenerdchambers.com, at TNC Movie Nights on all our social media. We will see you guys for the review.